Hi, so we a couple weeks ago just finished our first 6-week semester of school. We do the 6 weeks on, 1 week off schedule. And so I thought I'd do a little recap for you. Now I've done a whole blog post like more in detail about how our first semester went, but I thought I would do a little video to go along with that. So if you're interested in that blog post, it's just like pictures and details and page numbers and all that. Click below for that. Hopefully this video will just make you feel good about yourselves because we didn't really get a lot done. So if you got more than like 1 week's worth of school done in your first semester, you've done a lot better than I have. But I love being honest in this channel. I think that there's no reason for us to try to always put our best foot forward and think that it's helpful to one another as homeschool moms. So I'm just going to be totally honest with you and let you know how our first 6 weeks went. We were really slow going. Our first week of school was awesome. We were doing great with our schedule. And then our second week of school, my morning sickness hit, and I thought maybe I wasn't gonna get sick this time around, but I had my dates wrong or something, and totally came into full effect that second week of school. So we started doing school at noon, and so we were doing school from like 9 to noon, finishing in a few hours in the morning. Morning is like my best time for getting stuff done, my kids' best time. But bless you, that scared me really bad. But anyway, so then we had to switch to the afternoon because I was just really tired in the morning and not feeling so great. So the second week of school, I was like really gung-ho on getting done, start at noon, we'd be done by 3, everything was going okay. We're maybe leaving a couple subjects out because my kids' attitudes would start to kind of rise up in the afternoon, where we wouldn't really have that had we started in the morning. So there was a lot of like foot stomping and book slamming kind of stuff going, you know, as we approached 3 o'clock because they don't nap anymore, and my some of them probably could still use naps. By the third week of school, I was really done. It was like, we were lucky if I got the main subjects in, and I kept telling myself like, oh, I'm just gonna give myself grace. This season will be over soon, but I just couldn't mentally be okay with what was going on. But I had to do. So there was actually a lot of days where I shouldn't have done anything at all, but like by 5 or 6 o'clock at night, just to make because my husband doesn't get home till like 9 o'clock at night, by like 5 or 6 at night, just to make myself feel like I had accomplished something, I would like force them to do a little bit of school, and it wasn't really, they might have soaked in some facts, but it wasn't really a good experience, and I would prefer to do no school than to do harsh, angry mom school. So I really should have let that go the third week. So then probably the 4th, 5th, and 6th weeks, we were lucky if we got 3 days in a week. So we still did get a little bit of work done considering how I was feeling and the small amount of schooling we were actually doing. But I kind of got to the point where I said, okay, as long as we make it to football, as long as we make it to dance, as long as we make it to violin lessons and they get to their friends' history co-op and whatnot, I'm just going to count that as having done a little bit of school. We're going to read bedtime stories before they go to bed, and maybe we'll talk about math. But yeah, we weren't getting a lot done those last couple weeks of school. We just had our 1 week off, and I kept saying, just going to make it to that week off. I'll be right around like 13 weeks in. I should be feeling better by the time that's over. We're going to go on our family vacation, and maybe it'll be like a reset button. And that has been the case. So we just restarted another semester, and things so far are going pretty well. So because our curriculum is like a reading based, like we use a lot of the Charlotte Mason method, it's a lot of reading and talking. That's hard when I just feel like laying down all day. So that couch has been my best friend because that's a sleeper sofa. And I have pulled it out and I have laid on that bed and done school with them. They've sat up at this table up here and brought their work to me. It's so funny to get a visual now and think about what that must have looked like to them, because initially they didn't know that I was pregnant, so they were probably like, what the heck is up with mom? But yeah, they would ask me a question and I'd be like, look at that chart will tell you, and if they still didn't get it, like, bring it over here, I'll help you. So yeah, nausea and a reading talking based curriculum do not go well together. that. They are loving history and geography this year. We're doing Story of the World, which we were doing last year, but we switched our geography curriculum from a workbook-based curriculum to the Simply Charlotte Mason Visits to series. So we're doing Visits to Europe, and it's basically where they read Hungry Planet, Material World, and do map drills, and they are loving it. All of these living books are really, really great for them. I'm really thankful as far as reading goes that we chose to take a break with my son last year and restart this year with the same curriculum. He is flying through it this year, and he has so much confidence. So that last year he was capable, but this year he is ready. So there is a huge difference, and there's definitely a blessing in homeschooling there, because you can recognize as the parent that even though they're capable, pushing them might actually be negative. So I was really glad that we took that break. Science. This is our third year using Apology of Science, and I loved it the first 2 years. This year, I'm not sure if it's just because it's a lot, the chapters are so much longer. We're doing the chemistry and physics this year. The chapters are so much longer, and I don't know if it's just because I haven't been feeling like reading that much, or if it's just because it's like a subject that I'm not fully interested in, but I'm having a really hard time getting through the chapters. Now, my dad does their science projects and their lectures and all that. My only job as far as science goes is to just read the material with them and have them do a couple of like the journal, the notebooking journal pages, but still, like, I'm having the hardest time getting through it. So I think it's probably me. I don't think that it's the curriculum itself, but it's also like the font is different. I don't know. It's all those little things. Like when you get used to something being one way and then it's a different way, you just feel very uncomfortable with it. I think a lot of the beginning of the school year is like creating new habits because you're so used to the way things were going the last year. So science has been a little bit of a struggle for me. We only made it through 2 chapters in 6 weeks, and we should have made it through 3. So yeah, besides that, we've got like our fun sprinkles of the Simply Charlotte Mason stuff, the artist study and the composer study, and the scripture memory and the hymn study, and that's been a really great addition, and I can't wait to be feeling a little bit better and get to really focus on that more. Okay, so I can't wait to be feeling well enough to be doing those on a more regular basis, but on the days that we do get those things done, my kids are really loving it. The nature study, specifically, they've been loving. We've only been able to do it a couple times though. 1, because I haven't been feeling well, and 2, because we live in Florida and it's like, it's terrible outside right now. And it's been raining extra, and we have Zika in Florida, and it freaks me out a little bit, so I'm kind of like letting that control my kids' outside time, which I totally shouldn't do, but anyway. So yeah, that's going on with that stuff. And then the only other thing that I have left to say is that I did notice this time around that handwriting has been something that my daughter really needs to work on, because my son, who's in kindergarten, has better handwriting than her. And I'm not sure, she's a very, like, free spirit, and it's one of those things where it shows in her handwriting. Like, she's never going to be the kid who does perfect letters because she just, like, wants to get it over with, or she thinks she's daydreaming and her words start going like this. And so it's been kind of a funny thing to be putting the 2 of them together, and they're both working on the same like kindergarten handwriting notebook. At this rate, we're probably not going to get to cursive until she's in like 7th grade, but whatever. So that's been a funny thing that has been going on this last 6 weeks. I think about week 5, I decided, like, forget it, you're going to go back to the basics and we're going to start over with handwriting because we need to kind of rein it back a little bit. Anyway, so that's my little recap on our first semester, or whatever you call it. It's like, it's not a quarter, it's like a 6th, so it's our semester. Anyway, so if you guys have had a similar experience in your first month or so of school, let me know in the comments below. If you guys have been like flying through your year and doing amazing, please don't let me know because I feel terrible about how it's going. Anyway, the blog post with all of the other details and pictures and all that is right below in the description box, and I have a homeschool day in the life scheduled to do in the next few days here, so you should hopefully see that in the coming weeks. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble about our homeschool. I hope everything's going better in yours. Bye.